Being a celebrity is so easy today. Making millions is so easy today. Most hated guy in America. Where do they rank? He says, how can I help you? I said, I don't know. All you have to do is just take the lens off you have, put a different lens on. Because when you put a lens on, you just look at the world in a whole different way. He says, Pat, when is it enough? What are you looking for here? Next part. Okay. So how are you going to make your money? So what's your game plan? Who are you going to be? How are you going to make your money? By the way, just so you know, it is the easiest time ever in the history of mankind to be a millionaire. Ever. It's the easiest time ever to be a millionaire. It's never been easier than today. Ever. It's a joke today to be a millionaire. It's a joke today to be a millionaire. It's so, let me explain it to you. You know how celebrities used to be like, a person was on TV, we would be like, oh my gosh, Mom, look, it's the weather guy. It's the weather guy, Mom, it's Burger King, it's 1998. It's the weather guy. Oh my gosh, it's the weather guy, Mom, it's crazy. Today, oh hey John, what's up? You know why? Why? Because people follow YouTubers more than they follow weather guys. Instagram influencers have more following than a weather guy does. It's no longer a big deal to be a celebrity. Just so you know, social media, here's what it did. It made the whole celebrity thing gone. There is no more value at being a celebrity. Yeah, PewDiePie is known as much as some of the biggest celebrity Hollywood stars in America, in the world. And he's PewDiePie. Regular guy, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. It's a complete different game today. Being a celebrity is so easy today. Making millions is so easy today. Your strategies is what needs help. So let's talk about it. Where most people struggle, lens and language. Let me speak about lens first. Earlier, a guy comes to me and he starts talking to me and he says, hey, Patrick, we were at the, how many of you guys were at the CEO at the luncheon that they had? Who was at the luncheon deal, right? Who was at this luncheon when this one kid was talking to me? Where is he at? I want to find him. I'm not going to call him out. I just want to find him. Is he CEO package guy or no? Are you anywhere here? Wink at me. I got big eyes. I'll find you. Okay. All right. Let me tell you what this kid did. So he comes up and here's how he starts it. He says, Patrick, I can't even tell you, you've changed my life. Your content is incredible. It's absolutely ridiculous. I learned so much from you. And he goes for 30 seconds. No one's doing that so far because they just want to come and ask a question because it's another person. I'm thinking like this is getting somewhere. And then he says, here's my card. If you ever want to buy any real estate in Nevada, Vegas, just call me. And I said, do you know what you just did? He said, what? I said, what you just did to me is like a guy at a bar going to a girl and saying the following thing. Saying, hey, you're so stunning. You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're the hottest thing here. If you ever want to go to bed, call me. I'm like, you're serious? I said, so let me get this straight. Your lens here is you're just looking at everybody as a customer. That's a wrong lens. That's a small lens. He says, what do you mean? I'm not coming like that. I said, you are. But the guy had a good attitude about it. I said, let me give you a story. Years ago, I had a guy, right before me, another guy came up and he said, Pat, actually I saw his face. He says, Pat, we know the same name, a guy named Eli Dafish, right? Where's the guy that said Eli? Did you say Eli? So he comes to me and he says, hey Pat, we know the same name, a guy named Eli. And I told him who Eli was to me. I was 21 years old when I met Eli at an event by LAX airport. So I get close to Eli. I get invited to his 50th birthday party. I go to his house. I'm a nobody. I'm selling gym memberships at Bally Total Fitness. A guy comes to me. He's one of the biggest attorneys in Vegas. He comes to me and he says, so I said, so what do you do? He says, I'm an attorney for Hollywood, this is who I'm an attorney. He gave me some big names. I'm like, okay. He says, what do you do? I said, I work at Bally's. He said, oh yeah, so you run the casino in Vegas. I said, no, I'm the weekend assistant manager at Bally Total Fitness, right? Oh, and you know Eli? Yeah. So, oh, okay. Very cool. Good to meet you, right? I stayed the night. At the end, I'm washing the dishes for this lady. Her name is Jolena. It's his wife. I'm washing the dishes. I talked to Eli. I say, Eli, how can I help you? He says, Patrick, you can't really help me in any way but one way. I said, what is it? I said, my son's in prison for 9 years. I said, okay. He says he did something he shouldn't have done. I said, what prison is he at? Men's Colony. Anybody knows Men's Colony near San Luis Obispo? You don't know it? It's not a good prison. It's a hardcore prison, like Mara Salvatrucha. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a hardcore prison, okay? So he says, none of my friends and relatives want to go visit this guy. His friends won't want to go there. I said, I'll go. He says, you sure? I said, absolutely. He says, but this is not a regular process. Do background check, whatever. They got my background. It took 30 days. I go to prison. I'm sitting there all day with them, in there. He says, that guy shanked that guy. He was in the hole. He just got out. He's just telling, and he's sitting like this. He says, Patrick, just sit. I'm not even kidding with you guys. He's sitting like, I never forget this day. We took a picture. I got the picture till today. Picture was taken 2001. So I come back. Eli's emotional. He's like, I can't believe you just did that for me. I said, buddy, what do you mean I did that for you? It's your son. He says, how can I help you? I said, I don't know. He says, here's the 600 most influential name I know. You can use my name to call them to help you out with whatever you want. I said, you're serious? He said, yes. It's okay. I came back. I called them. One of the contacts introduced me to another person, who introduced me to another person, who introduced me to another person, who introduced me to another person, made me $30 million. One contact. Why? Because I didn't say, hey, you want to go to bed? No, I went and I said, how can I help you? Almost everybody in this room, all you have to do is just take the lens off you have, put a different lens on. Because when you put a lens on, you just look at the world in a whole different way. You're not looking at everybody here that I'm just trying to figure out a way what I can get for me. It's a complete different lens, right? So the most people have a challenge of what? Lens. Second challenge is language. A lot of people, I listen to their language and I'm like, oh my gosh, this language is just not the right language. What do you mean by language? I'll give you an idea. So while I'm speaking to the same group, a guy comes up to me. He says, Patrick, I'm a loan officer. If you were in the loan game, what would you do to get customers? I said, so tell me who's your ideal customer. Here's what he says to me. He says, somebody who is currently a homeowner, has high interest rate, and would like to find a way to get more write-offs. I said, what else? He says, I said, what else? He doesn't have an answer for me. I said, okay, let's go a complete different direction. He says, what's that? I said, you single? I grabbed his left hand. He had a nice watch on, but he didn't have a ring. I said, you single? You're not married? He said, I'm not married. I said, okay, you got a girlfriend? He said, I don't have a girlfriend. I said, great. Okay, perfect. I said, so tell me, you ever want to be in a relationship? I do. What kind of a girl you're looking for? He said, I want her to be top notch. I said, listen, who remembers when he said top notch? You were in the groups. I want her to be top notch. I said, you got to be very careful when you say a word like that because it's very general. I said, you ever seen Shallow Hal? Because top notch has a different meaning for a lot of different people. I said, give me specifics. Okay. This guy's like 6'5", 6'6", little taller than me. He says, I want her to be 5'7", 5'8". I said, great. What else? I want her to have light eyes. I said, look, you and I have brown eyes. What if she has brown eyes? Will you still go out with her? I think I would. So put the eyes aside. So I said, what else? And then he was stuck. I said, you're just not going to find your girl. He says, what do you mean? I said, you have no clue what kind of a girl you're looking for. I said, let me tell you what. I said, by the way, how many of you here know a girl that's 5'7", 5'8"? Raise your hand. Do you see how wide this is, right? But you know what kind of a lead you can give them? I know 82-year-olds that are 5'7". Say, hey, I got a 5'7" person for you. Pat, she's 82. All you told me was 5'7". She's 5'7", 82. But that's not what I want. Well, then tell the world what you want. So I said, look, here's what I did. I was dating all these girls. They were all the same. One day, you know how guys and girls, we all complain, where are all these great women at? I'm telling you, there's no more good women nowadays. And these men, oh my gosh, look at them today. And we complain. It is not the men or the women. It's your language and it's your lens. So I sat back. I said, Pat, what are you looking for? I went specific. Toes, eyebrows, cooking. I could care less about nationality because I'm okay there. But for me, whatever you are, you got to learn to make my dad's cooking. I don't care what it is, because I want the house to be good smelling food. If the house smells like food, kids come to the house. I want you to learn how to make these 5, 6 dishes my dad makes and my mom makes. I'm good. I don't care what you're doing. I want it to be career. I want it to be this. So I wrote it down, what I wanted. You know what I did next? I told everybody, here's what I'm looking for. Hey, I'm looking for this kind of a girl. Okay, cool. Here's the criteria. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking. Hey, here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a girl like this. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Then all of a sudden they started showing up. And then I picked my wife. She's sitting over there, right? And we got married. It's my criteria though. Moral of the story. Lens, language. Change the lens, change the language. Business is all about lens. So you're here. What are you looking for here? Why are you here? Are you just here to listen to David Goggins or me speak? Are you here to just get close to Albert? Why are you here? What is the purpose? What is your lens? What's the language you got to speak to get what you want? Those two need to adjust. Let's continue. Next part. No matter who you are in this room, guys interview me in the back, and he asked me this question. He said, do you remember when you made your first million? You know how they do the speed round stuff in the interview, and they kind of ask you questions? Tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when you say this. He says, your first million. I said, I don't remember. And he went off track. He said, why don't you remember? Because it wasn't a big deal. It was like, if it was million, I would have slowed down. I don't remember the first million. So, oh, really? I said, yeah, I don't. He said, so tell me why. So then we went in. I said, look, here's what you got to realize. Most people, this is how they compare themselves. Most people. See, in every single level in life, there is an 80% in that group. Then there's what? 20%? Then there's 1%. What does this mean? Let me explain. In this room, raise your hand if you've made less than 6 figures in 2019 so far. Raise your hand. If you made less than 6 figures in 2019, guys, we can either have a regular meeting, and if you come to my meetings, I'm disciplined. I don't screw around. I don't like to waste your time or my time. If I'm asking you, let's participate together. How many guys made less than 6 figures? I can't help you if you're not going to be real with me. Okay, less than 6 figures. How many guys have made so far this year between $250,000 to $500,000 net, not gross, net, $250,000 to $500,000? Look around. Okay, good. How many guys have made between $500,000 to $1 million net so far this year? $500,000 to $1 million. Who has already made more than $1 million this year? More than $1 million this year. Okay, 1, 2. I want to see these hands. Can you put them up? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know him, Michael, Tim. What's your name? Alexandra. And then what's your name? Gentleman up back there. Can you scream out your name? Louis? Bruce? We got Bruce. Anybody else? I got one over there. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Keep your hand up again. Keep your hand up again. Okay. These are the guys I want to talk to, right? But watch this. In this room, these guys are in the 1%. In the room, the people that raise their hand that are between $500,000 to $1 million, they're in 1%. The guys that raise their hands between $250,000 to $500,000, they're in the 10 percentile, 5 to 10 percentile. 100 to $250,000, 20 percentile. 100,000 below, you are all in the 80 percentile. Fair? Hurt a little bit? Just being real with you. Now watch this. Say I take those 6 people that made $1 million this year, net. I take them in a whole different room. Okay. In this room, the minimum earner out of 2,000 people, minimum, net, so far, has made $10 million. Where do they rank? Top 1% or bottom 1%? Bottom or top? Bottom. You know why? Because it's the next group. Challenge is most people, they don't go this way because this hurts. Most people don't compare like this. They don't say, hey, let me compete up. Most of us say, I'm making more money than my sister. I'm making more money than my sibling. I'm doing better than my dad. I'm doing better than my family. I'm doing better than the guys I went to high school with. But in the real league, the next league, The reason we're afraid to make this leap, because here you're 1%, here you're in the bottom 1%. That is scary. And you know, at what point these levels stop? When do you think this stops? Never. It only stops when you're finally hungry. So he asked me a question. He says, Pat, when is it enough? I said, what do you mean? He says, when is it enough? I said, I don't understand what question you're asking. When is it a good point for you to say, I'm slowing down? I said, didn't you just ask me a question about passion? What are you passionate about? What was my answer? My passion is the game. Man, the game is like, who has a favorite board game? Scream out your favorite board game. Scream it out. Who said Scrabble? Anybody? What's your highest score ever? Let's hear it. 120? Okay. All right. Anybody else? Scrabble? Anybody said Monopoly? Who said Monopoly? Who plays Clue? Let me give you some other games. Who plays Gin Rami? Any weird people that play Rami? No Armenian people here. Anybody plays spades? Who plays domino? Anybody plays domino here? Who plays backgammon? Any backgammon players? The best human beings in the world play backgammon. I don't know why, but they play backgammon. Anybody ever plays a game that you love where you want to keep playing it? This becomes a game. When you make it a game, it's not about the money. It's like, oh my gosh, let me see if I can figure it out so we can do $600,000 this month. Ooh, that was awesome. What if I can figure it out on what we can tweak to make $2 million this month? Oh my gosh, we just made $2 million. And then you get to a point where now you have the formulas. So what's the limit now? You stop it. Because you know, if you go, the same formula that I got you from $5,000 a month to 50 to 500 to 5 million, it can get you to 50 million a month. It's a formula. So at some point, you're going to stop. Most people are going to stop. Very few people continue. Who is the most hated man on the planet today? Say it. Why do you think? Actually ask the question. By the way, it's a controversial thing to say with 80% of the room being Latinos. Raise your hand if you're Latino, by the way. Raise your hand if you're Latino. Let me ask the question a different way. Raise your hand if you are not Latino. Look at this. Guys, if a fight broke out, all the Latinos are whooping everyone's ass in the room here. I just tell you right now. All they're going to say, Michoacan? Yeah, what did the guy say to you? The fight's going to break out here. At what point do you want to stop? What point? So you'll see people are going. At some point, everybody stops. I'm not going to continue. This is enough for me. My belly's already full. And a few people go. Trump, most hated guy in America, because all of his peers that he was competing with in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, a little bit in their 60s, they stopped and retired. This flipping guy is still going at 74 years old. Love him or hate him, he's going. Of course they're going to hate him. What are you doing? You're worth billions. You've been flying with a 747 for the last 20, 30, 40 years. You've had your TV show. You've had all this woman. You've had all this fun. Why the hell are you still going to be a president? I'm driven. So he's not stopping here or here or here or here or here. Kobe was hated in the NBA. Why aren't you retiring your 15th year? I just want to go a little bit more. I just want to go a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Man, just stop. Stop. Everyone's going to try to stop you at some level. Everybody is going to say, by the way, this is what the language sounds like. I have very good friends. They'll call me. They'll say things like this. Hey, Pat, I follow your stories. Do you think it's healthy that you're working the way you're working? What do you mean? Well, bro, look, man, I mean, everybody knows how much money you have right now. I mean, we don't know exactly, but we know you have a lot of money. Why, like, what? How many more hundreds of millions? Like, what's going on, bro? You know, I don't know if this is like some stuff like it's hypomanic ADHD issue stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's like kind of settle down a little bit. And they give this speech. And I'm like, very speech, man. Awesome. It's great. Not for me. It's not the life I signed up for. So at some point, and by the way, you know what's the best thing? Guess who it matters the most to when you stop? Guess who has to have the right answer on when you stop? Who? Who's the only person that matters on when you should stop? Who? You. Only person is you.